Imagine waking up tomorrow with the same problems, but they don't control you anymore. The stress still shows up, but it can't enter. The negativity still knocks, but you don't open the door. Because for the first time, your mind is not reacting, it's leading. And here's the uncomfortable truth. You don't have a motivation problem, you have a training problem. Today I'll give you 5 habits, simple, almost boring, that will quietly rebuild your mindset until it becomes unbreakable. Not positive on good days, positive under pressure. Not strong when life is easy, strong when life is unfair. Stay with me, because the first habit takes less than 60 seconds each morning. And if you do it consistently, it changes the way you think for the rest of your life. Look at your mind right now. Not tomorrow, not when life becomes easier. Right now, notice how quickly it moves. A sound outside, a memory, a worry, a plan, an old argument, a future fear. The mind is like a restless child running through a marketplace, grabbing everything, tasting everything, dropping everything, and then crying because its hands are empty. And you call that my personality. You call that my mood. You call that how I am. But it is not who you are. If you want an unbreakable positive mindset, you must stop treating positivity like a decoration you hang on the wall when guests arrive. A strong mind is not a slogan. It is not good vibes. A strong mind is trained, like a body is trained, like a blade is forged. Heat, pressure, repetition, patience. And then one day, the blade does not bend when the world hits it. Let me tell you something that will save you years. Your life does not become stable first, and then you become stable. It is the other way around. Your stability is what creates stability around you. If you wait for calm seas to learn how to sail, you will die on the shore. So we will build this mindset the correct way through habits, not complicated ideas. Habits. Small daily actions that look boring to lazy people and look sacred to disciplined people. 5 habits. If you practice them consistently, you will become the kind of person who can be in chaos and still be calm, who can be in pain and still be kind, who can be under pressure and still think clearly, who can lose something and not lose themselves. The first habit begins the moment you wake up. Most people wake up like a house that catches fire and then asks, why is it so hot? They open their eyes and immediately reach for noise. Phone, messages, news, social media, and in that moment, they hand the steering wheel to the world. They let other people decide what they will feel. They let other people program their attention. They let other people set the temperature of their inner world. You want an unbreakable mindset? Then every morning you must reclaim your mind before the world touches it. This is not poetry. This is practice. When you wake up, do not move immediately. Before you do anything, breathe slowly and feel your body. Feel your hands. Feel your chest rising. Feel your belly. Feel the weight of your legs. Your mind will already try to run. Let it run. But you do not run with it. You remain. You watch. And then you do something very simple. You decide your direction for the day in 1 sentence. Not 10 goals. 1 direction. Today I will be patient. Today I will be disciplined. Today I will speak less and listen more. Today I will do what I said I would do. Today I will not feed my fear. This sentence is not a wish. It is a compass. Because the world will test you in exactly this area. You will be late and someone will push you. You will be tired and someone will talk too much. You will be hungry and you will crave comfort. And in that moment your compass speaks. Patient, disciplined, calm. If you start the day without a compass, you will call your reactions normal. You will call your anger justified. you will call your laziness self-care. A strong mind does not let the day happen to it. A strong mind chooses how it will meet the day. So the first habit is, every morning, take back your attention and set your direction. Now the second habit is what protects your positivity from being fake. Many people try to be positive by denying reality. They smile while drowning. They say, "I'm fine," while something inside them is screaming. They think strength means never feeling weakness. They think being strong means always being motivated. That is not strength. That is fear of discomfort. A strong mind does not pretend. A strong mind observes. So the second habit is daily honesty with yourself. Once a day, you sit down and ask, what is actually happening in me? Not what you tell others, not what you post, not what you wish. What is actually there? Maybe there is sadness. Then say it. Maybe there is anger. Then admit it. Maybe there is jealousy. Then be honest. Maybe there is shame. Then face it. Maybe there is fear. Then name it. Because what you cannot name, you cannot train. What you hide controls you. What you face becomes workable. Think of your mind like a room. If the room is full of smoke, you can keep dancing and pretending nothing is wrong, but you will still choke. The solution is not more dancing. The solution is to open the window. Honesty is the window, and there is a specific way to do this honesty so it builds strength instead of weakness. You do not say, "I am angry," because that becomes your identity. You say, "Anger is present." You do not say, "I am anxious." You say, "Anxiety is present." You do not become the emotion. You observe the emotion. This small change in language is powerful. It creates distance. It reminds you emotions are weather, not the sky. They move, they pass. But you remain. And when you are honest, you can choose your next action intelligently. You can say, "If anger is present, I will not speak right now." You can say, "If sadness is present, I will take a walk. I will breathe. I will call someone. I will rest." You can say, "If fear is present, I will do the smallest brave action available." This is how positivity becomes real. Not by pretending the darkness isn't there, but by learning how to hold it without becoming it. So the second habit is daily honesty, done with observation, not identity. Now the third habit is where the mind becomes unbreakable. Unbreakable does not mean nothing can hurt you. It means when you get hurt, you do not collapse into a story that destroys you. Most suffering is not from the event. It is from the story we tell about the event. Someone ignores you, and the story says, "I'm not important." Someone criticizes you, and the story says, "I'm not good enough." Something fails, and the story says, "I always fail." A plan breaks, and the story says, "My life is ruined." Notice these words always. Never everyone, nobody. These are the words of an untrained mind. A mind that turns one moment into a prison sentence. So the third habit is, challenge the story immediately. When something happens, you ask, "What do I know for sure?" And you separate facts from interpretations. Fact, he did not reply. Interpretation, he doesn't respect me. Fact, she looked away. Interpretation, she hates me. Fact, I made a mistake. Interpretation, I am a failure. A strong mind does not automatically believe its interpretations. It investigates them, like a wise judge, calm, fair, precise, not emotional, not dramatic. And then you ask a second question, which is the most powerful question for positivity. What else could this mean? Maybe he didn't reply because he's busy. Maybe she looked away because she's tired. Maybe I made a mistake because I'm learning. This is not naive optimism. This is mental discipline. It prevents your mind from turning life into a battlefield. If you practice this habit, your mind becomes flexible. And flexibility is strength. A rigid branch snaps in the wind. A flexible branch bends and returns. So every day, you must catch yourself when you exaggerate, when you catastrophize, when you make assumptions, when you turn one moment into a lifetime, and you correct it. You do not allow your mind to speak to you like an enemy. And here is the part people avoid. You must also control what you repeatedly feed your mind, because your mind becomes what it consumes. If you consume outrage, you become reactive. If you consume gossip, you become suspicious. If you consume luxury, you become dissatisfied. If you consume comparisons, you become insecure. If you consume fear, you become weak. So part of challenging the story is also choosing what stories enter your mind every day. If you want a strong mindset, you cannot live on mental junk food and then wonder why your thoughts are sick. This is the third habit: separate facts from stories and train your interpretation. Now, the fourth habit is the most misunderstood habit of all. People think a strong mindset comes from thinking positive thoughts. They sit and try to repeat affirmations while their life stays the same. They say, "I am powerful," and then avoid the work. They say, "I am confident," and then run from discomfort. They say, "I am successful," and then waste the day. Listen, confidence is not built by words. It is built by evidence. Your mind becomes strong when you repeatedly prove to yourself that you do what you said you would do. That is it. This is why discipline is the mother of confidence. So the fourth habit is keep small promises to yourself every day. Not huge promises that you break by Wednesday. Small promises that you keep until your identity changes. You say, "I will walk 10 minutes," and you do it. You say, "I will drink water first," and you do it. You say, "I will read 1 page," and you do it. You say, "I will not check my phone for 1 hour," and you do it. You say, "I will sleep at this time," and you do it. Every kept promise is a brick in your inner foundation. Every broken promise is a crack, and people with weak mindsets usually have a life full of cracks. They don't trust themselves. They look in the mirror and the mirror says, "You talk a lot." And that hurts, so they distract themselves again. But the strong person does not need to hype themselves up. They have evidence. They have receipts. Their calm comes from knowing, when things get hard, I do not run. I adjust and I continue. And there is a secret here: the mind hates discomfort, but it respects consistency. The mind will complain while you train it, but later it will become loyal to you, like a wild horse. At first it fights the saddle, but if you are patient and firm, it learns, and one day it carries you far. So the fourth habit is daily self-respect through small promises. Now the fifth habit is what makes positivity unstoppable, because positivity is not just what you think. It is what you do with what you think. A person can have good thoughts and still be bitter. Why? Because their mind is always inward, always focused on me, my problems, my feelings, my fears, my needs. That is a small world, and a small world feels heavy. To build a strong mindset, you must expand your world. So the fifth habit is train your mind to serve, not as a weakness, as a power. Every day, do something that is not about your mood, something that is about contribution, something that makes you useful, something that improves the space around you. Speak one honest compliment. Help someone without being asked. Clean something that no one will praise you for. Teach something you know. Be the person who brings order to chaos. When you serve, you stop worshiping your emotions. You stop being a slave to how you feel in the moment. You become of purpose, and purpose is stronger than mood. This is why some people can be tired and still do what is right. They are not led by comfort. They are led by values. This is why some people can go through tragedy and still be gentle. Because their heart is trained to give, not just to take. Serving builds positivity because it reminds you you are not powerless. You can create goodness. You can create stability. You can create warmth, even when the world is cold. And here is another secret. The mind becomes strong when it sees itself as a source, not a victim. A victim waits for life to treat them well. A source creates value even when life is unfair. So the fifth habit is daily contribution, daily usefulness, daily service. Now, you might be listening and thinking, this sounds simple. Yes, it is simple, but it is not easy. And the difference between simple and easy is where most people lose their life. Because the mind wants a technique, a shortcut, a miracle, a quick transformation with no discomfort. But you are not here to be entertained. You are here to change. So let me pull all 5 habits together in a way you can feel in your bones. You wake up and take your attention back. You set one direction. Then you practice honesty. You observe what is present without becoming it. Then you challenge your story. You separate facts from interpretation and choose flexibility. Then you keep a small promise. You build evidence that you are reliable. Then you serve, you expand your world beyond yourself. Do you see what this creates? This creates a mind that is guided, not random. A mind that is honest, not suppressed. A mind that is intelligent, not dramatic. A mind that is disciplined, not dependent on motivation. A mind that is meaningful, not trapped in self-obsession. That is an unbreakable mindset. Now, let me speak to the part of you that will resist. There will be days you miss the habit, days you fail, days you fall into old patterns, and your mind will say, see, you can't change. That voice is not the truth. It is just a voice. It is an old program that protects your comfort by attacking your growth. When you fail, do not add poison. Most people fail twice. First, they fail the habit. Then they fail their mind by insulting themselves. They say, I'm useless. I always do this. And that second failure is what keeps them stuck. A strong mind does something different. It says, noted, I slipped. Now I return. No drama, no shame, no identity crisis. Return. You can return in the same hour. You can return in the next breath. The return is power, not perfection. And I want you to understand something. If you practice these habits, life will still challenge you. People will still disappoint you. Plans will still break. You will still lose things. You will still feel pain. But you will not lose yourself. When anxiety comes, you will breathe and observe it. When anger comes, you will pause and choose your response. When temptation comes, you will remember your promise. When chaos comes, you will hold your direction. When suffering comes, you will ask, what can I do with this? When negativity comes, you will not drink it like water, because your mind will be trained. Imagine 2 people in the same storm. One is panicking, screaming, blaming, collapsing. The other is steady, moving step by step, making decisions, protecting what matters. Same storm, different mind. Your mind is the difference. So right now, before you scroll, before you move on, do this with me. Inhale slowly. Count to 4. Hold for a moment. Exhale longer than you inhaled. Again, feel how your body listens when you lead it. This is the beginning of strength. You lead. Now choose your one direction for tomorrow morning. Not 5, 1. And choose one small promise you will keep. Something so small that even your excuses feel embarrassed. And then keep it. No negotiation. No, if I feel like it. You keep it because you decided. and your decision matters. And when you feel your mind trying to pull you into the usual darkness, you do not fight it with violence. You simply return to the habit, observe, challenge the story, breathe, act with purpose. Because an unbreakable positive mindset is not a mood you wake up with. It is a discipline you return to again and again, until returning becomes who you are. And once that happens, something strange will occur. People will start to feel calm around you. They will not know why. Your presence will become heavier, like a mountain that doesn't move when the wind screams. Your words will carry more weight because they come from practice, not performance. Your eyes will look clearer because you are no longer constantly at war with your own thoughts. But the real reward is quieter than that. The real reward is that you will be able to sit with yourself without needing to escape. No phone, no noise, no constant distraction, just you. And instead of feeling restlessness, you will feel grounded. Instead of feeling emptiness, you will feel space. Instead of feeling fear, you will feel readiness. Because your mind will finally trust you. And when your mind trusts you, you stop needing the world to be perfect for you to be okay. You stop begging life for permission to be stable. You stop waiting for others to change so you can have peace. You become peace. Now, there is one more layer to these habits that separates the ordinary person from the truly strong one. You must practice them when you least want to. The day you want to do it is easy. The day you don't want to do it is the day the habit is forged into your identity. So when you wake up tired, that morning still belongs to you. When you feel emotional, honesty is still required. When you feel offended, the story still needs to be challenged. When you feel lazy, the small promise still needs to be kept. When you feel self-centered, service still needs to expand your world. And if you ask, how long until I change? You are already changing the moment you practice the first repetition. Because the mind is not changed by understanding. The mind is changed by training. So train. Train like your future depends on it. Because it does. Train when it is quiet. Train when it is loud. Train when you feel inspired. Train when you feel nothing. Train when people praise you. Train when nobody sees you. And as you train, you will notice something: the same problems that used to shake you will still appear, but they will not enter you the same way. Criticism will hit you, and you will absorb only what is useful, not the poison. Rejection will come, and you will feel it, but you will not collapse into it. Pressure will rise, and you will become sharper instead of messy. That is strength, not the absence of difficulty, the presence of stability. So tomorrow morning, before the world speaks to you, you speak to yourself. You set your direction. You breathe. You lead. And when the day tests you, and it will, you do not beg the test to stop. You use the test to become the person you said you would become. Because the mind you want is not found. It is built. One breath, one honest check-in, one corrected story, one kept promise, one act of service, and then again, and again, and again, until even in the middle of a hard moment, you can feel it inside you, like a steady flame that does not panic when the wind comes, because it has learned how to burn from within. And you begin to notice the next thought rising, and instead of being dragged by it, you watch it, and you choose what you will do next, with calm hands and clear eyes, as if your life is finally in your own care. And in that care, there is a quiet power that keeps growing the more you practice it, because the practice itself becomes the proof, and the proof becomes the foundation, and the foundation becomes